So how do we get the right tenants? And should I wait for the right tenant? Let's get into it. There are three main ways where you can give yourself the best chance of getting the best tenants. Now, the first way is to make sure that you're creating a market-leading product at a market-leading price. So we call them next level HMOs. By just having the price at the top of the market, you're instantly filtering out any potential tenants that might cause a problem through lack of being able to afford the rent or potentially causing antisocial behaviour. So what we look for is a high quality product. It attracts a high quality tenant and they're more likely to pay those rents and also more likely to stay a long period of time as well. And ultimately they're able to afford that rent, which are checks that you would do anyway to make sure that what they're earning will more than cover their rent. And we generally look for about 40% coverage, so their rent is no more than 40% of their total income. That would be deemed to be affordable. And bear in mind, we're including all of the bills in that as well. Now, the second thing is to be really picky. So if you've created a really great product at the top of the marketplace, then you're going to get a decent number of applications for that room, which means that you can be picky, you can be choosy, and you can almost interview the tenants to make sure they're the right fit for the house. In fact, you can even get your existing tenants to interview the new potential tenant for you. This way, you're encouraging them to be part of the process, to feel more invested in who they're going to be living with, but also to get someone that they like to move in with them. And that fundamentally is the trick. It's the bit of magic that will make this whole thing work. Because again, if the tenants like living together, then they're going to pay their rent and they're going to stay a long period of time. And the third point is to ensure that you wait for the right tenant. Just because you have 10 tenants apply doesn't mean that you have to take them. Now, during the pandemic, we had a great example of this because we had just finished a next level HMO in Warrington in the northwest of England, and we had the opportunity to let it out, but literally this happened in March 2020. We just finished it, we were starting to let it out, and lockdown happened. So we had a decision to make. Are we going to drop the rent for people that are actually looking for rooms to try and attract them into our property? Or are we going to maintain our rents at the high rates and encourage people that can afford that still to move into the room? And we actively made the decision not to drop the rents, not to compete with others that were doing that, and kept them where they were. So what this did was filter out tenants where price was the most important thing. And we got tenants where quality was the most important thing on their list, which meant that it took maybe a little bit longer to fill, but we still filled at 1 room per week during a pandemic. So within a couple of months, that entire property was filled. Yes, we might have filled it quicker if it wasn't a pandemic and people were able to move around a lot more freely and weren't confused about what we were supposed to be doing with social interactions. But we made that decision, and now, because we kept the rents high, as rents have now crept back up again, are going higher, it means that we're not starting from a low position. It means that we're actually starting from a decent rent. Whereas others who I've seen have got good quality properties, but they dropped the rent, it's then a lot harder to raise it 20, 30% back up to where it should have been in the first place. So hopefully those tips have been useful for you when it comes to getting the right tenants in your property. And remember, don't choose the first tenant that comes along. Wait for the right people, because the right person will stay a long period of time and will pay a really decent rent for that room. If you liked what you saw, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so that you get updated when we release any new video. And if you want to hear a bit more about what we do at the HMO platform, then click on the link down below in the chat where you can come along to one of our future discovery days. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.